Good evening, and welcome back to the Night Library. The world outside can be loud, fast, and messy. But in here, everything is slower, softer, safer. The lights are warm and low, like someone turned down the volume of life. If you are in bed, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to figure anything out. Just listen and let your thoughts move like slow clouds. Tonight, we're reading something modern, but we're reading it like a bedtime story. Tonight, we're talking about Wi-Fi, the invisible helper that lives quietly in the corners of so many homes. If you've ever wondered how your phone can ask a question and get an answer through the air, this story will guide you gently through it. No pressure, no hard words, no stress, just calm understanding. And if you fall asleep halfway, that's perfect. That's what the Night Library is for. In this library, we like to imagine ideas as places, because places are easier to walk through than numbers. So imagine the Night Library as a peaceful city at night. The streets are silent. The buildings are tall shelves. The windows are book covers. And inside each book is a message waiting to be delivered. Wi-Fi is part of a hidden delivery system, not the kind that uses trucks and roads, a quieter kind, a kind that uses waves. When most people hear the word waves, they imagine the sea, water rising and falling. But a wave is simply a pattern that moves, a rhythm, a repeating motion, like a slow swing that goes forward and back, without getting tired, like breathing, in and out, in and out. That gentle repeating motion is a wave. Waves can move through water, waves can move through the ground, and waves can move through the air. The waves that Wi-Fi uses are part of a family called radio waves. They are real. They are not magic. You cannot see them, but you can feel their effects, like when a radio plays music, or when a phone call reaches you, or when a remote control talks to a TV. Wi-Fi is simply one peaceful member of that family. Now, to make it feel even calmer, imagine that radio waves are like soft lantern light, not bright light, not sharp light, just a gentle glow that spreads outward. It doesn't crash. It doesn't bang. It simply expands. It moves through the room. It reaches corners. It brushes past walls. It fades slowly with distance. Wi-Fi waves behave like that. Your router sends them out, and they spread through the space around it. If the router is the storyteller tonight, then the waves are the storyteller's voice, and your phone is the listener. Now let's meet the router properly. The router is usually a small box. Sometimes it has antennas that look like little arms. Sometimes it has tiny lights that blink softly. Sometimes it sits quietly near a TV or a shelf, doing its job without attention. In the Night Library, the router is like the librarian at the front desk. The librarian does not write the books. The librarian does not create the knowledge. But the librarian helps the right book reach the right person at the right time. That is what a router does. It helps guide information. It helps direct it. It helps organize it. Now, there's a simple truth most people don't notice. Wi-Fi is not the internet itself. Wi-Fi is more like the hallway inside your home. It is the way your devices walk from your room to the front desk. The internet is the giant world outside the library. Huge, wide, full of roads and connections. But Wi-Fi is the quiet indoor system that lets your phone speak to the router without a cable. The internet usually enters your home through a wire, maybe fiber, maybe another type of cable. That wire brings internet into a device often called a modem, sometimes combined with the router. A modem is like a translator. It helps turn the outside signal into a form your home network can use. And the router is like the organizer. The router takes that connection and shares it with the devices in your home. Now, how does the router share it? It sends radio waves. It sends a signal outward, like a soft announcement in a quiet building. Not loud, not dramatic, just a steady presence. A calm little broadcast that says, I am here. This is my network. If you know the key, you may connect. That key is the Wi-Fi password. And in the night library, the password is like a membership card. If you have the card, the librarian lets you in. If you don't, the librarian politely says no. So when you type your Wi-Fi password into your phone is basically saying, "Hello, I know the secret. I belong here. Please let me in." And the router answers, "Okay, welcome." Now, the moment the router accepts your device, something gentle happens. Your device and the router do a handshake. A handshake is not a fight. It's not a test. It's just agreement. Like two calm people meeting and deciding how to speak politely, the router and your device agree on the rules of the conversation. They agree how to keep the conversation private. They agree on what kind of protection to use, because you don't want random strangers listening to your private messages. So the router and your device use encryption. Encryption is like putting your message into a locked box. Only the right key can open it. Even if someone could hear the waves, the message would not make sense without the key. It would be like staring at a page full of scrambled letters. So once the handshake is done, the router and your device begin to talk in a steady rhythm. But here's the interesting part. They are not shouting into the air like someone yelling across a street. It's more like speaking on a chosen lane, because the air can be crowded. In an apartment building, many routers may be nearby, many networks, many little librarians quietly working at once. If they all tried to talk on the same lane, the signals would overlap and cause confusion. So Wi-Fi uses channels. A channel is like choosing one hallway in a library. One hallway might be crowded, another might be quiet. The router tries to choose a channel where it can speak clearly, and your device listens on that same channel. Now, you might wonder, how can air have channels? It's not like paint lines on a road, but you can imagine it like radio stations. One station is at one frequency, another station is at another frequency. If you tune to the right station, you hear the right music. If you tune to the wrong one, you hear something else, or static. Wi-Fi does something similar. It uses certain frequencies that are set aside for Wi-Fi. It chooses a channel within those frequencies, and then it speaks. Now, let's slow down even more. Let's make it feel like a real night story. Imagine your device is a person walking into the night library. They step softly, they don't want to wake anyone, they come to the front desk. The librarian looks up kindly. The person shows their membership card. The librarian nods. And then the librarian says, "Okay, tell me what you're looking for." And your device begins to request information. A web page, a song, a video, a message. But it cannot ask for a giant thing all at once. It asks in small pieces. And this is where the story becomes even more peaceful. Because the internet is built on small pieces, not big heavy blocks. The information is broken into packets. Packets are like envelopes. Small envelopes. Each one holds a small part of the message. If you stream a video, that video does not arrive as one huge package. It arrives as thousands of small envelopes, arriving quickly, one after another. Your device collects them and rebuilds them into the smooth video you see. But in Chapter 1, we won't run too far ahead. For now, just hold this image. Wi-Fi is invisible waves carrying tiny envelopes through the air. The router is the calm librarian sending those envelopes outward. And your device is the quiet listener receiving them, checking them, and putting them in the right order. Now, you may be thinking, if Wi-Fi waves are going everywhere, why doesn't every device connect automatically? Why doesn't your neighbor's phone join your Wi-Fi without permission? Because the password and the handshake create rules. And because every Wi-Fi network has a name and an identity, that name is often called the SSID. But we don't need to focus on the word. We can focus on the feeling. It's like the name on the library door. Night Library Stories. If the name matches the door you want, you knock. If you have the key, the door opens. If you don't, you keep walking. And once you are inside, the librarian keeps the conversation private. Now, I want you to notice something calming. Wi-Fi is always working in the background, quietly, faithfully, like a night guard who walks the halls and keeps everything in order while everyone sleeps. The router does not get applause. It does not demand attention. It simply keeps sending its gentle signal, waiting for a device to ask for something. And when a device asks, the router responds. Now, let's talk about distance. In a calm way, Wi-Fi waves weaken with distance. Walls can block them. Floors can weaken them. Metal can reflect them. Even the shape of a building can change how strong the signal feels in different rooms. This is why Wi-Fi might be strong near the router, but weak in a far bedroom. It's not because the router is angry. It's not because you did something wrong. It's simply physics. The wave spreads out, and the farther it goes, the softer it becomes, like a voice in a hallway. Close up, it's clear. Far away, it becomes quiet. That is why many people place routers in open areas, higher up, more central, less blocked. They are trying to let the librarian's voice reach every room. Now, your device also helps. Your phone has a Wi-Fi chip and a tiny antenna. The antenna is like an ear. It is tuned to listen for certain signals. It hears the router's waves and translates them into data. And the data becomes the content on your screen. This tiny antenna is not big or dramatic. It's hidden. It's quiet. But it's doing something wonderful. It's listening to invisible waves and turning them into something your mind can understand. Now, I want to end chapter 1 with one peaceful image you can keep while you drift. Imagine the router in your home as a small lighthouse on a dark, calm shore. It sends out a gentle beam, not light, but a signal. And your phone is like a quiet boat on the water. The boat does not panic. It simply follows the signal. It receives the message. It stays connected. In the next chapter, we will follow one message on its full journey. From your device, to the router, out into the wide internet, to a faraway server, and back again. A full, round trip. Quietly, safely, like a letter that travels across the world overnight and returns with an answer before morning. For now, let your eyes rest. Let your breathing slow. If you're still awake, that's okay. You're still here. Or maybe you drifted for a moment and came back. Either way, welcome back into the night library. The lamps are still warm. The shelves are still quiet. Nothing is demanding anything from you. Tonight, we're simply following a message. One gentle message. Because now you know the first part. Wi-Fi is invisible waves, and the router is the calm librarian who helps your device connect. Now, let's follow what happens next when you actually ask for something. Imagine you're holding a small request in your hands. Not a heavy one, just a simple request. A question, like, please show me a video, or please load this page, or please send this message. Your phone or your laptop takes that request and turns it into data. And then something very important happens. The request is broken into small pieces. Small, tidy pieces. Like a long letter being separated into many tiny envelopes, each one numbered so it can be put back together later. These little envelopes are called packets. And the reason we do packets is simple. Packets are easier to move, easier to manage, easier to check. If one packet gets lost, you can resend just that packet. You don't have to resend everything. So it's more efficient, more careful, more calm. Now imagine the first packet leaving your phone. It doesn't leave as a visible object. It becomes part of the Wi-Fi signal. The phone uses its tiny antenna, like a small ear that can also speak, and it sends the packet as a radio wave through the air. The packet travels across the room, quietly, instantly. It reaches the router. The router receives it like the librarian receiving a request slip. The librarian reads it and thinks, you want something from outside the library. Because most of what you request is not inside your home. It is somewhere else, in a different building, in a different city, sometimes in a different country. So the router does what it was made to do. It forwards the request to the next step. Now, inside many homes, the router and the modem are in one box, but the roles are still there. The modem is the translator. The router is the organizer. So the router passes the packet to the modem, and the modem sends it out through the cable that connects your home to the wider internet. This is where the request leaves your home, like a letter dropped into a postbox at night. Now, imagine the internet as an enormous network of roads, but not roads made of stone, roads made of cables. Some cables run under streets, some run on poles, some run across long distances underground. Some even run under the ocean. The internet is like a giant postal system, but instead of trucks and paper letters, it uses routers, switches, and packets. Now, your packet begins to travel. It moves from one network device to another. Each device makes a small decision. Where should I send this next? Like someone passing your letter along a chain of careful hands. Now here's a calm detail that helps everything make sense. Every packet has addresses. Not home addresses like streets and house numbers, but digital addresses. These are called IP addresses. Again, you don't need to memorize the word. Just remember the idea. It's like writing from and to on an envelope. Your phone's request has a destination. Maybe it's a server that holds a video. Maybe it's a server that holds a website. Maybe it's a server that handles a message. That destination address is written into the packet. Now the packet travels across networks until it gets close to where it needs to go. And finally, it arrives at a server. Let's talk about servers in a gentle way. A server is just a computer designed to serve information, like a librarian's back room filled with copies of popular books. When you ask for a video, the server finds the video and begins to send pieces back to you. It does not send the entire video at once. It sends it as packets, thousands of small envelopes again. Now the journey turns around. The response packets begin to travel back. They move from the server through the internet, through networks and cables, through routers and switches, making small decisions at each step. And finally, they arrive back to your home. They arrive at your modem through the cable. The modem translates them into something your home network can use. The modem passes them to your router. And now, your router has to deliver them to the correct device inside your home. Because your home might have many devices connected. So the router looks at the packets and says, these belong to this phone, or these belong to that laptop, or these belong to the TV. And then, quietly, the router sends the packets as radio waves through the air, a gentle broadcast, but aimed through rules so the right device can pick up the right message. Your phone's antenna listens. It catches the waves. It pulls out the packets. It checks them. It arranges them in order. And this is a peaceful part, because your device is patient. If a packet is missing, it can ask for it again. It can say, softly, I didn't receive packet number 72. Please resend. And the system will resend it. That's how the internet stays stable. It is not perfect, but it is careful. Now, let's slow this down with an image. Imagine you are in the night library, and you want a certain book that is not in this building. You fill out a request form. The librarian takes the form and sends a runner out into the night. The runner travels through quiet streets, through different checkpoints, through different buildings. The runner reaches a giant archive and finds the book, but the book is too big to carry as one piece. So the archive copies it into many small pages and puts the pages into envelopes. The runner brings those envelopes back, one by one, and when they arrive, the librarian hands them to you in order, and your mind reconstructs the book into a full story. That is what packets do. And that is what Wi-Fi does in the last step inside your home. Now, you may be wondering something very common. If the router sends waves everywhere, can other devices hear them? Yes, other devices can detect that a network exists, but the content inside is protected with encryption. It is locked. Unless you have the key, the message cannot be read. It becomes scrambled, meaningless, safe. Now, this brings us to something else that affects your experience: interference. Interference is when too many signals overlap or when something blocks the signal. For example, walls, thick walls. concrete walls, metal surfaces, even large mirrors, even some appliances. They can weaken or reflect waves. That's why sometimes the Wi-Fi feels stronger near the router and weaker far away. The signal has to travel through space, and space has obstacles. Now, let's also talk about something that is gentle but real. The router has to share its attention. If many devices are connected at the same time, phones, laptops, TVs, tablets, the router is like one librarian with many visitors. It does not ignore anyone, but it must take turns. It sends a packet to one device, then another, then another. If one device is pulling a heavy stream, like a high-quality video, it can take more of the router's time. That can make other devices feel slower, not because the internet is bad, but because the attention is shared. Now, there's another soft detail. Sometimes the router sends packets, and the device does not reply fast enough. Or sometimes the device replies, but the router doesn't receive it clearly. When that happens, the system will resend. It will repeat. It will correct. This is why Wi-Fi is often still reliable, even when it feels imperfect. It is always checking, always correcting, always adjusting, like a careful librarian, making sure each page is in the correct order. Now, let's pause on the most peaceful part of this chapter. Think about this. When you tap something on your phone, your request might travel hundreds of kilometers. It might travel across countries, sometimes across oceans, and then the answer returns to you in seconds. And you don't see the roads, you don't see the cables, you don't see the servers. You simply receive the answer. It's like sending a whisper into the night and hearing the reply before the candle burns down. Now, just for a moment, let's imagine a real example. You search for something simple, maybe a recipe, maybe a name, maybe a fact. Your phone sends the request. It becomes packets. It flies through the air to the router. It goes through the cable, out into the world. It finds a server. The server sends back a response. The response travels back through the world. The router delivers it to you, and the page appears. This is not magic. It is quiet organization. It is millions of small machines cooperating, each one doing a small task correctly. That is why the internet works. Not because of one big powerful machine, but because of many smaller systems working together calmly. Now, as you listen, you may already feel your thoughts slowing down. That's good. Let the technical details soften. You don't need to hold them tightly. Just keep the feeling. A request goes out. A response comes back. Packets move like envelopes. The router is the calm librarian, and your device is the quiet reader putting the pages together. In the next chapter, we'll explain two things in a very soft way. First, the difference between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, two lanes of Wi-Fi. And second, why Wi-Fi sometimes drops or feels slow, and what that really means. Then we'll close the night library gently, with a calm ending that lets you drift away. For now, let your breathing become slower. Let your shoulders feel heavy in a good way. The message has traveled the world and returned. The night library is still awake, even if the world outside is sleeping. The lamps are still warm. The air still feels quiet. And now, we're at the final part of tonight's story, the part that helps everything feel complete. In the first chapter, we met Wi-Fi as invisible waves and the router as a calm librarian. In the second chapter, we followed a message broken into tiny envelopes, traveling out into the wide internet and returning home. Now, in this final chapter, we'll answer the last gentle questions. Why does Wi-Fi sometimes feel fast and sometimes feel slow? Why does it feel strong in one room and weak in another? And what are those two strange numbers people mention, 2.4 and 5? We'll explain it in a way that feels like walking down quiet library hallways. No rush, no pressure, just calm clarity. Let's begin with those two numbers, 2.4 and 5. These numbers usually come with a word, gigahertz. You don't need to love the word. You only need the idea. Gigahertz is about frequency. Frequency means how quickly a wave repeats. Imagine a gentle wave that rises and falls. If it rises and falls slowly, that is a lower frequency. If it rises and falls faster, that is a higher frequency. Wi-Fi commonly uses two main bands, which you can picture as two main hallways in the night library. One hallway is called 2.4, the other hallway is called 5. The 2.4 hallway is longer and wider. The sound of footsteps travels farther down it. In Wi-Fi terms, that means 2.4 can often travel farther and push through walls a bit better. But because this hallway is so common, many people walk there. Many devices use it, so it can get crowded. The 5 hallway is shorter and cleaner. It can carry more information quickly. In Wi-Fi terms, it can be faster and less crowded, but it doesn't always travel as far through walls. So if you are close to the router, 5 can feel smooth and quick. If you are far away, 2.4 might be more stable. Neither is good or bad. They are just different hallways, different choices. Now, let's talk about something you felt before. You walk to one room and the Wi-Fi is strong. You walk to another room and it becomes weak. This happens because waves can be blocked or weakened. Walls, especially thick walls, can reduce the signal. Concrete can absorb. Metal can reflect. Large appliances can interfere. Even the shape of the house matters. So Wi-Fi is a bit like a soft voice. If the librarian whispers in the center of the building, you can hear clearly nearby. But if you move far away, behind thick doors, the whisper becomes faint. That's why router placement matters. A router hidden behind a TV, low on the floor, tucked inside a cabinet, is like a librarian whispering from behind a curtain. The message still exists, but it reaches you weaker. A router placed in a more open, central area is like a librarian speaking gently from the front desk clearer to the whole building. Now, there's another reason Wi-Fi can feel slow: sharing. Your router is not serving only one device. It might be serving many: phones, laptops, TVs, tablets, smart speakers, cameras, even appliances. The router takes turns, sending packets to each device. If one device is streaming a heavy video in high quality, it can take more turns, and other devices may feel like they're waiting. Like a librarian helping one visitor with a huge pile of books while others wait politely. This is not failure. This is fairness. It's the system trying to share time. Now, let's talk about the air being crowded. In an apartment building, you might have many routers nearby, many networks, many signals. They can overlap. This overlap can create interference. Interference is when signals mix, like two people speaking at once in the same hallway. The message becomes harder to hear clearly. Wi-Fi tries to avoid that by choosing channels. Channels are like lanes inside the hallway. One lane may be crowded, another may be quiet. Routers can switch to quieter channels automatically, but sometimes they don't choose the best one. That's why, in real life, Wi-Fi can sometimes improve when the router picks a less crowded lane or when devices reconnect fresh. Now, there's a gentle truth about Wi-Fi that can actually calm you. The system expects mistakes. It is built to handle them. Packets can get lost. Packets can arrive late. Packets can be damaged by interference. And when that happens, the system does not panic. It simply resends. It repeats. It corrects. Like a careful librarian noticing a page is missing and quietly going to fetch it again. That's why you might see a loading circle or a video pausing for a second. It's not the end of the world. It's the system doing its job, fixing small problems in the background. Now, let's talk about the moment Wi-Fi drops. Sometimes your device disconnects. Maybe it says, "No internet." Maybe the signal disappears. This can happen for a few simple reasons. The router may have a small hiccup. The modem may lose contact with the outside cable. The internet provider may have a brief issue, or the air around you may be too noisy with signals for a moment. Sometimes your device simply needs a fresh handshake, like stepping out of the library and walking back in, showing your membership card again. That's why turning Wi-Fi off and on can help. It's not magic. It's simply a reset of the conversation. Now, you might also hear people talk about Wi-Fi versions, like Wi-Fi 5 or Wi-Fi 6. You don't have to memorize those numbers either. Just think of them as better library systems. A newer system can handle more visitors at once. It can manage crowded spaces more intelligently. It can schedule messages more efficiently. But even the newest router still follows the same calm idea: invisible waves, carrying packets, organized by rules. Now, because this is the night library, I want to turn all of this into a peaceful picture you can sleep with. Imagine your router again as a lighthouse, not a loud, flashing, angry lighthouse. A calm one, a steady one. It sends its gentle signal into the night. Your devices are like small boats. Each boat has a small request, like a folded note. The boat sends the note to the lighthouse. The lighthouse sends the note out into the world, through hidden tunnels and quiet roads. And then, after a little journey, the answer returns, and the lighthouse quietly guides it back to the correct boat. This happens again and again, all day and night. And most of the time, you never even notice it, because it's designed to feel effortless. And there's something comforting in that. So many parts of life demand attention, but the systems behind your screen work quietly, patiently, without drama. They serve in the background, while you rest. Now, as we come to the end, I want you to let the details fade like the last lines of a gentle book. You don't need to remember frequency numbers. You don't need to picture packets perfectly. You only need to feel calm. You asked for something, and it arrived. The world cooperated. The invisible waves did their job. And you are safe to sleep. Let your breathing slow, in and out, in and out. If your thoughts wander, that's okay. Just let them wander like someone strolling between quiet shelves, touching book spines, reading nothing, hurrying nowhere. The night library does not rush you. Now we'll close tonight's book. The lighthouse stays on. The waves keep moving through the air. The librarian stays at the desk, and you can drift away. Before I say goodnight, I'd love to know something small. If you're still awake, comment your city and country. Where are you listening from tonight? I love seeing how far the night library reaches. And if this story helped you relax, subscribe to join us. New long sleep stories are always waiting on the shelf for you. Good night, and I'll meet you again in the night library.